retail technology of the year. And let's go back to you on this one.
Oh boy, I was not ready. I did cover Gen AI in my last two headlines, so I'm going to go away from that this year. So I have my retail technology of the year. You mentioned it earlier, Chris, in-store robotics. I think you have
Oh,
everything from the robotics that are happening, help with automation and picking and back of house that we talked about with Dematic's Kim Beaudry early on, just about how that's really getting smaller and smaller. To Simbe raising another $500 million to presumably kind of support the expansion for more retailers of Tally in stores. Even our visit last week, Chris, we went to SPS Commerce here in Minneapolis and we went into their DC, and that was a really big light bulb moment for me, not having spent a ton of time in DCs, but just to see the room for error in packing facilities, especially when you and I are in charge. But
yeah.
really just understanding like this is the real place where robotics, in the back of a grocery store or something, where they really can help speed things up and make things safer for the employees that are in the back of house. So that
Nice.
robots are
So
my pick.
robots is our see. I've been saying robots is 2025, and so you're preempting me. You're kind of coming in early on the robot headline. That's interesting. Interesting play there, my friend. Chad, what about you?
Well, let's go to the envelope. So,
Let's go to the envelope.
technology of the year. Let's see what David had to say.
Doesn't get old, Chad. Doesn't get old. I'm really glad.
There's like
you brought
7
this in.
more of them, so I hope.
All
not.
right.
Invisible barcodes.
That was close on my list too.
Me
Yeah,
too.
so
Me too.
really interesting. I mean, still early stage being piloted,
Mhm.
right? But I think what Digimarc and Walmart have been putting together as a combination in order to speed up checkout and stem shoplifting as an ancillary benefit could be really game changing, right? For an N of one, I still hate self checkout. My wife can't believe it, but like going in and like the way of scanning every single item at checkout, like I actually think a cashier can do it faster than me, right? It's the queue is the only reason I would use it. But this mechanism to create speediness in that self checkout delivery could really amplify that. And any element in order to be able to stem that theft loss of people not scanning, holding things in their pocket, whatever, just avoiding everything we can do to lock up the store, has the potential to be a real game changer. So there you go. Tech announcement of the year.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. It also has a lot of backroom applications too, as you think about finding product quickly for employees too over time. So yeah, that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. All right, I'll go next. So for mine this year was, I thought the easy one to do was like a generative AI play, like you could easily do something like that, but I didn't want to do that either. Plus I didn't know the exact application yet, which I think is something we've been talking a lot about on the show. The retailers don't know exactly what application is the best one yet. So for me, this one might surprise you three. I'm going with marketplaces. Marketplace
that's
platforms.
a great one.
Walmart is killing it with their marketplace. Like it's
Yeah.
driving a ton of their retail media growth. And then you saw companies like Lowe's, Macy's, Nordstrom's, they've all started to build their own versions, and all for the very same reason, right? You can expand the assortment, but it also gets you the ability to scale your retail media ad dollars much more efficiently. So with all the first party data that retailers have out there, I think you're starting to see that marketplaces are going to be the way that you help scale that retail media effort. So that's why marketplaces wins for me. David, close us out.
All right, so mine dovetails on Chad's. Shrink is one of the biggest issues retailers are facing today. And frankly, shrink in many situations is one of the reasons they're closing stores, because they just can't control the shrink. And when your shrink is higher than your sales, it just becomes untenable. So this technology has not yet been fully rolled out, but the most effective way to prevent shrink is to lock stuff up. But locking stuff up is an awful consumer experience. In comes Walmart with, if you have the app and you are a loyalty customer, you can open it yourself. I don't know exactly what it's called. The loyalty phone unlock for locked up goods in terms of theft prevention is, I think, the wave of the future, especially in high theft areas, and will enable some stores to stay open if we get widespread adoption. That's my tech of the year.
Wow. Wow. So you like that idea, David, huh? That's interesting. And just for clarification too, Walmart so far, for those listening, is only testing that with employees. They haven't rolled it out to customers yet, but people are hypothesizing that they could do that. But David, you like that from a customer experience standpoint and an overall retail sales standpoint?
Well, I think there's just places where you have to lock stuff up. There's organized retail crime.
Yep.
The only real way that has been proven to reduce that, you can't have a security guard. Like, it is locking the stuff up. So in a world where that has to happen, I think having an app where the customer can do it themselves rather than wait for someone to come from the back room to do it for them is a much better customer experience. I also think there's a secondary benefit of driving people to your loyalty program, because if you do it once or twice, waiting on someone, like suddenly that if it's your corner store or the store that you shop the most, you're incentivized to join their loyalty program. So I think it's a two-prong: reduce shrink, but also drive additional customers to your loyalty plan.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's a great call out. Cause yeah, we see a lot, Ann and I see a lot of companies that are really talking about detection, but prevention is a whole nother ball game. So you like this on the prevention angle. All right, Chad, who won the award here? Who takes home retail technology of the year?
Oh man, I continue to be the
keeping you guys on your toes today.
I mean, I like David's, David Brown's.
All right.
So I'm gonna go with the invisible barcodes.
All right.
All right. Very nice.
I love marketplaces though. That's not an angle that I thought of for this question. Or
I know.
David.
I know. That was a good pick, Chris.